Petyr Baelish, better known as Littlefinger, didn't just create chaos for fun. He had a plan. A calculated, ruthless plan that nearly gave him control of 3 entire kingdoms. But what exactly was that plan? And how did the nobody from the Vale almost win the Game of Thrones? This video will break down every phase of Littlefinger's master plan, and trust me, it's way more brilliant than you think. Number 1. Starting from nothing. By the time we meet Littlefinger in Season 1, he's already climbed pretty high. He's master of coin for the entire realm, sitting on the small council with massive personal wealth. A spy network that rivals Varys and business interests across King's Landing. Not bad for a guy who started with basically nothing. Littlefinger was born the son of a very minor lord, and I mean very minor. His family's lands were little more than a few rocky acres on the far northeastern village corner of the Vale. The Tullys nicknamed him Littlefinger because his holdings were on the smallest of the fingers, those tiny peninsulas. It wasn't meant as a compliment. But Petyr was obsessed with one thing from childhood: Catelyn Tully. He loved her desperately, but she never saw him as anything more than a friend. She was betrothed to Brandon Stark, and after Brandon died, she married his brother Eddard. Petyr didn't have the family name or the power to compete, so he learned the most important lesson of his life. In Westeros, if you don't have power, you're nothing. And if chaos can give you power, then you create chaos. Number 2. Phase 1. Murder and Betrayal. Here's where Littlefinger's plan really starts. Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King, was investigating something dangerous. He discovered that King Robert's children weren't actually his. Joffrey, Myrcella, and Tommen were the children of Cersei and Jaime Lannister. Jon was about to tell Robert the truth, which would have caused a massive crisis. But Jon Arryn never got the chance. Littlefinger had been carrying on a secret relationship with Jon's wife, Lisa Arryn. In Season 4, Episode 5, Lisa admits the truth to Petyr. She says, "You told me to put the tears in Jon's wine, and I did." Littlefinger convinced Lisa to poison her own husband with tears of lies, a deadly poison that's almost impossible to detect. But here's the genius part. Littlefinger didn't just kill Jon Arryn. He had Lisa write a letter to her sister Catelyn blaming the Lannisters for the murder. This is the letter we see in Episode 1. Catelyn receives it, believes the Lannisters are responsible, and this is what convinces Ned Stark to leave Winterfell and become Hand of the King. Littlefinger orchestrated the entire conflict between the Starks and Lannisters before the show even started. Then Littlefinger made his second move. In Season 1, Episode 2, an assassin tries to kill Bran Stark with a Valyrian steel dagger. Catelyn asks Littlefinger who the dagger belongs to, and he lies. He says it's his, but he lost it in a bet to Tyrion Lannister. This makes Catelyn believe the Lannisters tried to murder her son. She arrests Tyrion in Episode 4, and the Stark-Lannister tension explodes. We don't find out until Season 7, Episode 7 that Littlefinger lied. Bran reveals during Littlefinger's trial, "You told our mother that this knife belonged to Tyrion Lannister, but that was another one of your lies. It was yours." Littlefinger framed the Lannisters for attempted murder to create more chaos. Number 3. The ultimate betrayal. This is where Littlefinger's ruthlessness really shows. Ned Stark discovers the truth about Joffrey's parentage and plans to expose Cersei. Before King Robert dies, he names Ned as Lord Protector of the Realm. Ned knows Joffrey has no legitimate claim to the throne and that the rightful heir is Stannis Baratheon. Ned goes to Littlefinger for help. He needs the City Watch to support him when he confronts Cersei. Littlefinger agrees. He tells Ned, "I'll do what needs to be done." Ned trusts him because Littlefinger has been helpful all season. But in Season 1, Episode 7, Littlefinger betrays him. In the throne room, Ned orders the Gold Cloaks to arrest Cersei and her children. Instead, they turn on Ned's men and slaughter them. Littlefinger walks up behind Ned, holds a dagger to his throat, and says, "I did warn you not to trust me." This betrayal is the key to everything. By siding with the Lannisters, Littlefinger ensures Joffrey becomes king, and Joffrey is perfect for Littlefinger's plan because he's unstable, cruel, and easy to manipulate. Chaos thrives under a weak king. If Stannis had taken the throne, he would have seen through Littlefinger's schemes immediately. Stannis is rigid, honorable, and obsessed with justice. Littlefinger would have been exposed. So Ned dies, the War of the Five Kings begins, and Littlefinger positions himself as the man everyone underestimates. Number 4. Climbing higher. Littlefinger doesn't waste the chaos. In Season 2, he leads a diplomatic mission to Highgarden and brokers an alliance between the Lannisters and the Tyrells. The Tyrells have the largest army in Westeros, and Littlefinger brings them to King's Landing just in time to win the Battle of the Blackwater in Season 2, Episode 9. What did he get as a reward? He's made Lord of Harrenhal and Lord Paramount of the Trident, which means he controls the Riverlands. Now, Harrenhal is cursed and half ruined, and as far as we know, Littlefinger never even visits it. But suddenly, he's at the High Table, by right of nobility. He's one of the most senior lords in Westeros, Not just because of his financial skills, he has a title, he has legitimacy. Phase 1 of Littlefinger's plan worked perfectly. He advanced huge in social standing. His rival Ned Stark is dead, he lost Catelyn, but he has Sansa by his side, and he has the full trust of the Lannisters who control King's Landing. Number 5. Phase 2. Taking the Vale. Now that Littlefinger has the social standing, he can suggest something he was denied as a child: marriage to Lysa Arryn. She's available now that her husband is dead. It's not that he particularly wants to marry her, but being the stepfather of the Lord of the Vale and husband to the Lady Regent brings power. But what he really wants is Sansa. He's been obsessed with her since he first met her. The problem? She's married to Tyrion, and the Lannisters would never let her leave King's Landing while the war is still raging. So Littlefinger launches a complex plan that almost goes perfectly. Joffrey and Margaery's wedding is coming up in season 4. Littlefinger knows that Olenna Tyrell would never allow her granddaughter to marry someone like Joffrey, so he hatches a plot with her to assassinate Joffrey on his wedding day. In season 4 episode 1, Sir Dontos gives Sansa a necklace. The stones on the necklace aren't just stones, they're poison crystals called the Strangler, provided by Littlefinger. At the wedding in episode 2, Olenna adjusts Sansa's necklace while talking to her. If you watch closely, Olenna plucks one of the stones. Later, she drops it into Joffrey's wine. Joffrey drinks it and dies choking. In season 4 episode 4, Littlefinger explains this to Sansa after smuggling her out of King's Landing. He shows her the necklace with the missing stone and tells her he orchestrated Joffrey's death with the Tyrells. In season 7 episode 3, Olenna even confesses to Jaime that she killed Joffrey. Why kill Joffrey? Because Joffrey was too unpredictable. Littlefinger needed someone more controllable on the throne. Enter Tommen. Tommen is young, kind, and easily influenced. And by framing Tyrion for the murder, Littlefinger creates chaos within House Lannister. While everyone is distracted, he sails away to the Vale with Sansa. Number 6. Controlling the Vale. Littlefinger marries Lysa Arryn in season 4 episode 5. This gives him control of the Vale, one of the only regions untouched by war. The Vale has a massive army, rich lands, and the impregnable fortress of the Eyrie. Lysa is so obsessed with Petyr that she'll do anything he says. But Lysa becomes a problem. She's jealous and unstable. When she sees Littlefinger kiss Sansa in season 4 episode 7, she threatens to throw Sansa out the moon door. Littlefinger intervenes, but instead of saving Lysa, he pushes her through the moon door himself. Before she falls, he tells her, "I have only loved one woman. Only one, my entire life. Your sister." Now Littlefinger is Lord Protector of the Vale, controlling young Robin Arryn and the entire Vale army. He has money, men, and information. He's climbed from a minor lord with nothing to one of the most powerful men in Westeros, and he's done it without anyone realizing. Number 7. The Endgame. So what was Littlefinger's ultimate goal? He tells Sansa directly in season 7 episode 4. He says he pictures himself on the Iron Throne with her by his side. That's the plan. Littlefinger wanted the throne, with Sansa as his queen. His strategy was to let the Lannisters and Targaryens destroy each other, then swoop in with the Vale army and claim the North through Sansa. With Sansa as his wife, he'd have Winterfell and the loyalty of the Northern Lords. And with the Vale army, he'd have the strength to take King's Landing. Add in the Riverlands, where he's Lord Paramount, and Littlefinger would control 3 of the 7 kingdoms. It was an astonishing rise, from a nobody to potentially ruling half of Westeros. And it almost worked. Number 8. The Downfall. Littlefinger's entire plan depended on one thing: nobody knowing his secrets. But Bran Stark, as the Three-Eyed Raven, can see everything. In season 7 episode 4, Bran says to Littlefinger, "Chaos is a ladder." This is a direct quote from Littlefinger's private conversation with Varys in season 3 episode 6. No one else was there. Littlefinger's face goes pale. He knows Bran sees everything. By season 7 episode 7, it's over. Sansa, Arya, and Bran work together to expose Littlefinger in front of the Lords of the Vale. Sansa lists all his crimes: betraying Ned Stark, murdering Lysa Arryn, lying about the dagger, starting the War of the Five Kings. Littlefinger begs, he pleads, he tries to manipulate everyone, but it's too late. Arya steps forward and slits his throat with the very dagger he used to frame Tyrion Lannister. Littlefinger dies on his knees, powerless, exactly where he started. All that climbing, all that scheming, all that chaos, and he ends up with nothing. So what can we learn from Littlefinger's plan? He was brilliant. He orchestrated wars, manipulated the most powerful families in Westeros, and climbed from nothing to Lord Protector of the Vale. He proved that intelligence and cunning can take you further than any noble name. But he also proved that lies eventually catch up with you. The more chaos you create, the harder it is to control. And when you build your power on deception, One person who sees the truth can bring it all crashing down. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Littlefinger's master plan, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out our next deep dive into Game of Thrones. Let me know in the comments which character's plan or stories you want to explain next.